Hi, I'm Linda from paperboutiquewithlinda.com, and today we're going to be making this adorable wine tote. It is super simple and can be adapted to use with different size wine bottles, and you can also use, I made it large enough, the sparkling cider, so you can use it as a tote for sparkling cider as well. You can also put soda cans or juice cans in it. I think it would also make a fun summer tote if you wanted it as a gift with sunglasses, sparkling water, and sunscreen. Well, let me show you how to make this quick and easy tote. I'm going to get it out of the way here and just move it. I used Samantha Walker's Cool Summer paper collection to make this tote. I love her collection and the stickers and the cutouts. It's just a fun collection. For the other bag or tote that I'm making, I used Samantha's Giddy Up collection, and I think this would be so cute. Any number of the papers in here would work beautifully for a cute little tote. Well, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you're going to need, I'm going to move this paper here. You're going to need two 14-inch by 7-inch pieces of paper, one for the front and one for the back. And then you're going to score that paper in 4 3/4, and I'll show you that in a moment. But most of the scrapbook paper that you find is 12 by 12. And since you need a 14-inch piece, what I did, and let me show you on this, is I pieced the edges. I just cut an 1.5 inch strip, and I'll show you that in a minute, and attached it. Now you can piece the paper any way that you want. If you wanted to have a panel going down the middle, or maybe this into quarters, you can just have all sorts of fun with this project. The main thing is that it needs to be, you need 2 sheets when you're finished, 14 by 7. And let me show you what I did. I went ahead and cut a piece of paper 12 by 7 inches. And then I cut 2 pieces for each of the sides, 1.5 inch by 7, and I think you can see that. So 1.5 inches by 7, and I cut 2 of those. And then what I did is I just turned over the paper, I'll move this, on the back, and I just drew a 1/2 inch line. You can overlap it as far as you want. And I did that so when I put glue here. And I did a line so that when I added my paper, it would be very, very straight. And when I said I added glue, I typically like to use 2 different glues. They both work equally as well. One is a zip dry glue and one is quick dry adhesive. You can also use, to make this super durable, you could use your hot glue gun as well. So I went ahead, overlapped this a 1/2 inch on this side, overlapped it a 1/2 inch on this side. Let me show you what that looks like. And here is the piece, and you can see it's overlapped, and there's the front. Now, after you do that, you do 2 of them, and you just score it 4 3/4 from this edge. So this, I just scored it, and you can use your score pal, or a lot of times I just use a stylus and just a regular, let me reach here, just a regular ruler to score it. So you now have 2 pieces, and what you can do is you can put ribbon here or a strip of paper. On this particular one, I used a rickrack sticker that came in her collection, which I thought was super cute. Next is what I'd recommend doing before you attach the front to the back is to go ahead, and I used a 2.5 inch circle punch, and I just inserted it and went ahead and punched a little opening here. Then you could lay this on top of the other one and trace it to make sure that you've scored it or punched it at the same place. It's just a little easier before you attach, and it gives you this look. You don't need this. It looks adorable without this, but I just thought it was a nice little touch. Okay, then we're back and we have 2 of these, and what I did is I went ahead, look at this. This is that Giddy Up collection from Samantha Walker. Isn't that beautiful? This is the front and this is the back. And what I did, I'll just show you here. I just overlapped them. I drew from this is the 4 3/4 inch line. From here to here is 1.25 inches, and I just drew a line there and then glued this down. The only thing that you have to be aware of when you're putting the, however you want to piece together the front and the back, you need to make sure that you have it's exactly 3.5 inches from here to here, because that's going to be the side. So I just love that paper. So it's 3.5 inches here. Okay, I'm going to move this for just a minute and let's work on the side. For the side of your tote, you're going to need 2 pieces of paper, 4.5 by 7 inches. Once you cut the 2, and you can cut them in, you know, double-sided cardstock, single-sided. I really like using Samantha Walker's double-sided cardstock because it's super heavy, and that's what you need for this tote. Then I took my 4.5 by 7, I scored it using my score pal at 1/2 inch, turned it around, scored it again, and then I scored it at 4 3/4. So once again, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 4 3/4. And then what I'm doing now is I'm going to draw a little triangle. You know how bags fold in on the side and have a little triangle? Well, that's what I'm going to show you how to make. You do not need to worry about making it if you don't want, and let me explain why. This one just has like a crease in the middle, but we're going to add that little triangle to the bottom, but it looks great without it, and one I made with it and one I made without it. But if you want the little triangle fold, you'll go ahead and from this is the 4 3/4 inch fold line, you'll measure up 1 3/4 inches, and then I just put a dot there, and then let me show you what that looks like on blue. That might be easier. And then from that dot to the corner, and this is the corner right here, the fold where it intersects, I'm just going to use my ruler and then just score it on both sides so it intersects right at that corner. Okay? And I think you can see it. And then what I do, just to avoid the bulk, is I trim out those little rectangles on the side. And I'm hoping that you can see that. And here are the rectangles, so I'll just cut both of those sides out. And then this becomes the side. What you're going to need to do, and then you fold it. You're going to fold this down. You fold the sides down. And then you also fold it in half. Okay? And we did that earlier. That's how we got this point. You want to make sure you fold it in half. And then I just kind of manipulate it so it folds in like that, so you can see. And that's how easy the sides are to make. And what I went ahead and did was I made 2 of them for the sides, and I thought the brown would be so cute. And you can see we've cut out the corner again. I've done the little triangle. And now I'll bring in the 2 sides that we have together. And then what you're going to do is I would just put glue right here. I'd fold it up like this and then just put a lot of glue here. You could also use score tape, but I use the glue. And then this is why it's important that it's 3.5 inches here, because this is 3.5 inches. So I'm hoping that you can see that. You're going to line it up right to the very edge and glue this down. So you're going to hold that for a while until it dries, and then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Once this dries, I just go ahead and put glue on both of these. And the good thing about this glue is it doesn't dry super quick, even though it says quick dry. You have some time. So this piece is glued down. You've got glue here and glue here. I bring them up one at a time, and I'll just hold this side while it dries. And it might be easier for the first time for you to use score tape on this. And then just bring up the other side, and you'll just hold that, and you'll repeat the process on the other side, and you have your tote. Now I think you can see on the inside you've got a little tab here, and you've got this tab showing. Well, if you want to finish it, go ahead and cut a strip of paper here that's 2 inches wide by 4 3/4, and that will cover this. You can also cover the bottom, and let me just go ahead and bring in the finished one. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. I think you can see here's the piece of paper that I cut that's 2 inches by 4 3/4, and I put that on all sides. Now, if you want to make this a little sturdier, you could line this entire panel as well. You could line both panels, but I found that this was pretty sturdy. I also cut a piece for the bottom liner that's 10 inches by 3 3/8, and I just did that to kind of line up with the folds, and I think you can see that there. I didn't tape it down, but you'll want to tape it down. And you could put a piece of chipboard in the base as well. But speaking of durability, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Now, I added my handle, which is 10.5 by 3/8 of an inch on both sides. This is just pretty thin cardstock. I did a prototype where I used super durable cardstock and punched it and then inserted brads on both sides, and it actually would hold the bottle of wine. I mean, I think you'd always want to support it, but it would hold the bottle of wine. But let me show you another technique if you want to make even sturdier handles. I know most of you have these types of paper bags around the home, and this one was from Victoria's Secret, and Macy's gives you these bags, REI, even some grocery stores will give them too. And they already have, I think you can see these little paper handles. Well, a great way to recycle these bags, I just ripped out the one that was on this side, and I'm hoping that you can see that. And here it is, and that's what it looks like. And all that they do in making these bags is then just glue them back on. And if you even look at the bags, the very fancy gift bags you get at Target, they'll have the same inside design. You can do this a couple of ways. I would, before I assembled my bag, or even before, or the container, I would just lay it flat and then go ahead and cut a strip of paper to cover this. I'll move it down here. And then you could just attach it right here. Let me show you. It doesn't really look that good with that particular paper, but it would look adorable with the Cool Summer. So you could just go ahead, attach this, and then use a very heavy-duty glue here, and then just attach it on the inside. So you can, I think you can see in there. Now, if you liked that look, that would be perfect. And I think it's kind of cute to use contrasting paper. If you wanted it to be matching this paper, you could do that. Another thing you can do is not worry about this. Glue this down and then put another sheet of paper over the top. What won't work is if you just try to sandwich this between two pieces of paper, because it will pull out. The nice thing about recycling this is that they've used heavy duty glue, and it's held together well. So the next bag I make, I'm just going to do the cute little decorative like this and then glue it and use a heavy duty glue here. You might even want to try using, your glue gun or several rows of score tape. And that's really how easy it is to make. And you'll find these paper handles everywhere. Well, I would like to thank you for watching, and for more projects and ideas, please visit me at paperboutiquewithlinda.com. Bye-bye.